off the dust. If you ain't sideways, you ain't with us. Dirt track racing the way it's supposed to be. This is our league, our creed, our speed. Under the cautions, we circle slow, facing the visor, nobody knows. Playing that setup will finally bite. Ready to gamble it all on one night, one night, one night. Speedway Alliance, we ride that edge. Dirt track racing the way it's supposed to be. Slide that tail, hang the throttle off the ledge. Wide open hearts, spinning in the heat. Speedway Alliance, kick up the dust. If you ain't sideways, you ain't with us. Good track racing the way it's supposed to be. This is our league, our creed. Kick up the dust. We'll live in the haze. Speedway Alliance, built for these days.
Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome in as we get ready to rock and roll here from Lernerville Speedway with the Speedway Alliance Racing League as another amazing night of these factory stocks ready to go to battle, ready to duke it out here in this one. And for each and every one of these drivers, man, they are ready to try to find their way into victory lane, but it's easier said than done. Not only will you have to be fast, not only will you have to be in the right place at the right time to find yourself up and into victory lane, but you also have to make sure that you keep yourself on the racetrack. There is no outside fence to keep you inside the ballpark down through quarter 1 and 2, the back straightaway, and into 3 and 4. And we've seen it throughout practice, drivers missing that burr, missing that cushion, going up and over the edge and going for a wild ride out there on the speedway. So it's going to be a ton of fun to see if somebody is going to be able to, have an issue like that, have a problem in our feature event, potentially have some major catastrophic issues here late in the race that could cost them a W here this evening, as that will be the challenge throughout the evening, will just to be in the right place at the right time and obviously avoid those issues, as we see Clay Christopherson out there on the speedway, Daniel George Jr. is out there on the speedway, and look at that thing, up on 2 wheels. Ooh, baby, that one will get your heart rate up right there. Oh, hang on to it, Daniel, hang on to it, brothers. We do see Holden Anderson, James Williams out there on the racetrack. All these drivers getting their final moments of this practice session in before we head to qualifying, where drivers will get a couple laps to try to lay down their quick time to try to set themselves up here for a good day at the speedway. But it is going to get interesting because obviously these heat races, the feature event, man, we get battling door to door out there on the racetrack, and things start to get a little bit crazier here on the speedway. Could make things very, very fun in a quick hurry, and could make things very interesting out there on the racetrack to see if, potentially some issues may arise, some controversy may start to unfold out there on the speedway. So it'll be fun, it'll be interesting, it'll be another absolutely amazing show here with the Speedway Alliance Racing League, and who can find their way up and into victory lane here in this one. As Lernerville Speedway, man, always such a fun racetrack, always such a good racetrack, and it'll always be very, very interesting to see who will be able to find their way up to the front here, who will find that speed, who will find the grip, and maybe that extra line or that extra groove out there to try to put themselves into the winning position, as we'll get them all stacked up and racked up, ready to go here in just a little bit as our practice session has come to a close. So that means qualifying He's about to get started. So qualifying about to get underway here for each and every one of these drivers, and that means it is time to shine. It means it is time to go here for this qualifying run, and that is going to make things very, very fun here. Now, normally we've been doing random pill draw qualifying. Now with the actual, qualifying laps, you get an opportunity here to start your day off a whole lot better with the qualifying efforts out there on the racetrack. So that is a huge benefit. That is a huge bonus here to some of the faster drivers, the guys that maybe have a little bit more experience or a little bit better car here at Lernerville, being able to start in front of some of the craziness, in front of some of that wild action out on the racetrack, and just being able to, keep yourself in front of the mayhem on the speedway may be a really good thing out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see who can try to get it done here in this one. If you guys are just tuning in and you haven't already, make sure you guys do us a favor, hit the like button, hit that share button if you're feeling courteous, and make sure you hit the subscribe button. Become part of the Peacemaker family here today. As you see the 4-Ryan William Clapp out there getting his lap in. Nate Friesen jumps up into 4th, but it is Sebastian, the California, I don't know what else this says here. What else does this say? The California what? The California Kid Rios Davis. Okay, Sebastian the California Kid Rios Davis. I don't know if that's a self-made nickname or if somebody had given him that nickname, but nonetheless, for the California Kid, the 20 Ryan will get ready to rock and roll here. As of right now, he's qualified in that pole position. Daniel George Jr. qualified in position number 2. Nate Friesen into 3rd here is Corey Sibley and Hunter LaJoy round out our top 5, but LaJoy won't stay there for long, and either will Corey Sibley, as Clay Christopherson jumps up into 3rd. Robert Charette jumps into position number 4 here in his qualifying efforts. Can you find a little extra speed here on lap number 2? He does! And Robert jumps into position number 2, and Clay Christopherson jumps into position number 3, knocking Daniel George Jr. out of the top 3 here and back into that 4th position. But we still have a lot of fast cats left to qualify, one of those being this number 69 of Carson Cherry. First lap, Cherry jumps into position number 4. Let's see if he can find a little extra speed here in lap number 2. See if he can maybe work his way forward here, maybe onto the front row, down across the line. Cherry with the quick time. Quick time on the board for the 4 ride as Carson Cherry, the Catfish, qualifies into that pole position. We'll have to wait and see if anyone knocks him out of that top spot. We still see Aaron Witham out there on the racetrack. Looks like his final lap just getting done. He'll slide forward a little bit into 7th. James Williams out on the racetrack. Where can he move up here as we're still waiting on Holden Anderson, Shane Miller, and Thomas Davis all to qualify out there on the racetrack. So we'll have to wait and see where they can slot in. But we do see Thomas Davis able to roll out onto the racetrack. Here comes that 22 ride. Holden Anderson is going to leave pit road here himself. So here comes the 13 machine. We'll see where he can slide in. But right now it is Carson Cherry with the quick time. Sebastian Rios Davis in position number 2 with Robert Chartette, Clay Christopherson, and now the 79 of Gary Steele up and into position number 5. So Steele into the 5th spot here in this qualifying run, and for all these drivers, they only got a few more moments left, only a minute and a bit left here to get a lap time in. We keep seeing the 13 ride, Holden Anderson, get out onto the racetrack. Looks like he's trying to carry a lot of speed and momentum. He's been basically getting restarted, reset as Thomas Davis jumps into 14th there with his first lap. We'll see where his second lap comes out to as he's looking to find that extra little bit of speed. He does find a little bit. He'll leapfrog Thomas Thieves into 13th, but the Thomas and Thomas rides back in 13th and 14th. Holden Anderson, though, this looks like this will be his qualifying run. He's hoping that he can find a ton of speed up in that high side lane, down across the line. He will jump into about the 6th position, so a good run there, giving him a solid starting spot here in our heat races. See if we can find a little extra speed here in lap number 2. Anderson down and out of corner number 4 across the line. Let's see if he gains a little extra. He does run slightly quicker, but it's not enough to advance himself any farther forward. He will be still right in position number 6 here, and it looks like Shea Miller not going to have enough time to get a lap in out there on the racetrack. So it's Carson Cherry with the quick time here in qualifying. Carson gets that pole position, man, and he's going to be starting on the front row in heat race number 1. Sebastian Rios Davis will be starting in the top spot in heat race number 2, as we'll get at least 2, maybe even 3 heat races here this evening. I think the way that this is broken up, I think we're going to see 3 heat races for these drivers. And now, I do believe top 4 will advance to our A main feature event. Everybody else will go to our consolation race. So 3 heat races. Top 4 will advance. Bottom 2 will go to the consies here, where we'll be looking for a few more drivers to try to work their way into the show. So for Mr. Carson Cherry, the Catfish, he'll start in the pole position here in heat race number 1. It'll be the 51 of Clay Christopherson there to his outside in position number 2. Daniel George Jr. will start in position number 3, and to his outside, it'll be the 999 ride of Corey Sibley. Starting back at the rear of the field here in our first heat race is that number 4 ride, the Superflow machine of William Clapp, as I believe the 22 of Thomas Davis did not roll out there in time for the start of this heat race. So I feel for Thomas Davis, he's going to have to start from pit road this afternoon. So that's a tough break there for the 22 ride, as that setback will more than likely put him into our consolation race in just a little bit. As Brenda in the chat says, Granny's here, cheering on the boys. Let's go, Granny, tuning in, showing the love here in this one. As Brenda Cooper coming in, showing the love as these drivers get ready to rumble. They get ready to go to battle here, as the official iRacing pace truck will make the hard left-hand turn back down and off the racetrack in just a couple more moments. And for each and every one of these drivers, man, the nerves are building up. You know it's time to shine. You can't make a mistake. You don't want to be one of those drivers in the consolation race. You know you got to be top 4 here in this heat race to work yourself into the show. But you got to keep yourself out of trouble. It's nice and easy. Down and out of corner number 4. Green flag is in the air for Carson Cherry. Cherry gets a little tire spin. Now a little contact between him and Clay Christopherson as they send it down into corner number 3. The 4 right looks to go to the outside. Unfortunately, he wasn't clear. He'll wash over the banking down into the back straightaway here. And look at the car go airborne as he's just trying to get it back onto the racetrack. Unfortunately for Carson Cherry, he goes from hero to 0 in a split second down through corner number 2, and unfortunately now finds himself on the outside of a transfer spot looking in as Clay Christopherson holds on to the race lead. Corey Sibley's there in second. Daniel George Jr. back in that 3rd spot, and it's William Clapp in position number 4, looking for more and hoping to hang on to this 4th and final transfer position here, as Carson Cherry, unfortunately, quite a ways back there. Well, I don't know how much damage this car has on it, especially internally and under the hood after that big hit, and obviously a lot of ups and downs through that back straightaway and trying to climb back up that hill. And for the 4 ride, he is back here, unfortunately, running some really good lap times, some really fast lap times. Unfortunately, just trying to make up a lot of ground out there, and now he still has some time. Halfway through this heat race, he's only about 3.5 seconds back of this 4 machine of William Clapp. He is reeling in this number 4 car in a quick hurry, but will he have enough time to get there? As Clay Christopherson, nice and easy, back down through corner number 3 and out at corner number 4. He'll click off another lap. It's 2 laps left to go here in heat race number 1. As Brenda says, Daniel Jr., that's a beautiful green car. It is a beautiful green car out there for Daniel George Jr. on the Speedway as he rolls in that 3rd position, as the white flag has been displayed, though, for the mellow yellow number 51. Clay Christopherson looking for the first heat race win of the day, and we do see Carson Cherry able to catch and pass the 4 of William Clapp. So Cherry will punch his ticket into the show here if he can hang on to it, as Clay Christopherson wins our first heat race of the evening. Corey Sibley in second, Daniel George back in 3rd. Carson Cherry will come home in 4th and punch his ticket into the show, as William Clapp and Thomas Davis will go to our consolation races here this evening. So good rebound there for Cherry, able to get back on the racetrack, able to stick with it, and he puts himself right into the show here this evening. Great break there for him as we'll get ready now for heat race number 2 as the drivers will get loaded into the sim, each and every one of them looking for the win, and starting in that pole position is the 20 ride of Sebastian Rios Davis. The California kid will start in that top spot here this evening. To his outside is supposed to be the 79 ride of Gary Steele. Then we see Aaron Witham, the 147 of Stephen Bott, the 34 of James Williams, and supposed to be starting in the 6th position is Shane Miller, but Shea is not jumped out onto the racetrack as of yet. So we will get them all ready to rock and roll, ready to go to battle here. It's nice and easy down in through the front straightaway. Pace truck is going to start to move, and we're going to get ready to set him loose. Unfortunately for Shane Mueller, we'll have to start down pit side if Shane decides to join this heat race or just automatically go right on into our Conti here this evening as Sebastian Rios Davis hoping for a good run, hoping for a good drive, looking to try to keep these drivers back there at bay and hoping to try to put themselves into the show, as once again it looks like Shane Miller may miss this heat race, so will unfortunately be one of those drivers to go to the Conti, and one other driver will join Shea as a non-transfer into the show here through heat race number 2. So if you're James Williams, you're back in 5th, you're looking to move forward. If you're Stephen Bott or Aaron Witham, Gary Steele, or our pole sitter Sebastian Rios Davis, he just saw exactly what happened to his brother Carson Cherry, does not want to find that same fate, wants to make sure that he does not end up going down that back straightaway hill, and does not want to put himself into a position where he may potentially be, not transferring through this second heat race of the day. As here we go, green flag into the air. The 20 ride does slide up the racetrack, but a beautiful crossover of the 79 of Gary Steele. Steele's going to set it in there deep down through corner number 4, and look out! There goes the 20 ride, sideways, upside down, and hang on to it. Sebastian Rios Davis goes for a wild ride right there. Is what a wild corner out on the speedway, because this 79 ride sent it in there deep, up on 2 wheels, washed up in front of him, and then you see the right rear just go over the banking here for Sebastian Rios Davis. Unfortunately, it just goes up off the banking right there, and as it does, it kicks that rear end out. He goes around, it digs in, and it was about to go upside down there until he gets hit by the 216. Unfortunately, still bounces him up into the outside fence. The car bounces off the outside wall, still ends up going upside down a couple times here, and unfortunately for Sebastian Rios Davis, we may have jinxed him here, as he may be in the same position, the same fate as our first heat race winner here. Is unfortunately doesn't look like this wants to go live for us. That's a bit of a wild one. We don't like that. There we go. Okay, so Gary Steele out in front. He's got the race lead. Stephen Bott's in position number 2. Aaron Witham's in that 3rd position. James Williams in position number 4. That 4th and final transfer spot out there on the speedway. But with only a couple laps left to go, Sebastian Rios Davis needs to try to make up 6.5 seconds to try to catch up to that 34 ride. I don't think he's going to get as lucky as Carson Cherry to be able to reel in that 4th place driver in time to be able to try and steal that final transfer into the show, as the 79 of Gary Steele sees that white flag fly. He's looking to pick up the second heat race win of the day as he heads down through 3 and out of 4. Gary Steele has got that 79 ride absolutely checked out and hooked up here this evening from Lernerville Speedway as he picks up our second heat race win of the day. Stephen Bott, Aaron Witham, and James Williams will round out our top 4 punching their tickets. Unfortunately, Sebastian Rios Davis, Shane Miller will have to go to our consolation race later here this evening as we get ready now for heat race number 3. All right, heat race number 3 about to get loaded in, about ready to get to action here this evening from Lernerville Speedway. They'll all get lined up down behind the official iRacing pace truck, and we'll have to wait and see who's going to put themselves potentially into the winning position of our third heat race of the day. Starting on the pole, it is the 71 of Robert Charette. Charette is going to start in position number 1. To his outside will be the 13 of Holden Anderson. Starting back in position number 3 in the F18, that is Nate Friesen. And to his outside in the NOS Energy number 7, it is Hunter LaJoy. And starting back in position number 5 in the Hawkeye Trucking, number 15, it is Thomas Thies, who will start at the back of the pack. So 5 drivers taking the green flag here in heat race number 3. 4 drivers will work their way into the show, and unfortunately, again, 1 more driver will go to our consolation race here after this heat race. So for the 71 of Robert Charette, he's hoping for a big run, a good run, and hoping for better fate than we saw for our earlier 2 pole sitters here in their heat races. It did not work out too well for Carson Cherry. It did not work out too well on the opening lap for the number 20 Sebastian Rios Davis. Maybe he can kind of break that cycle as we get ready to go back to green flag racing. It's nice and easy. Down and out of corner number 4. Here we go. Charette looking for a big restart. Got a lot of tire spin. Not a lot of tire spin out of the 13 right of Holden Anderson, and he's able to get that foot to the throttle and pushes that drop to garage in number 13 right out in front of the field here. So Holden Anderson quickly takes over the top spot. Charette slides back into second. His name Friesen back in third. And then we see LaJoy and Thies are top 5 out on the racetrack. So far, everyone clean and green. No one running into issues as of yet, but we still got a lot of laps left to go here in heat race number 3 on the evening. And the battle is not done, as here comes Robert battling back, but you see him go for a 2-wheel squeal down through corner number 1 and 2. Luckily enough, it lands back on all 4 tires, does not go up and off the banking, but look out! There goes the 13 of Holden Anderson! Oh no! Anderson goes around, and man, oh man, what a heartbreaker here. 13 where I was looking really, really strong, sent it in deep down into corner number 3 and 4, and all of a sudden, for the 13 ride, just a little too high up, shoots that rear end. You see the right rear drop up over the outside banking, and that's all she takes. We saw the exact same thing virtually happen to that 20 ride, Sebastian Rios Davis, and there you go. Big flip there for the 13 ride of Holden Anderson, and man, that is a heartbreaker for that number 13 ride, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and keep on battling out there on the racetrack, as Robert Charette is going to be our race leader here. We're trying to get this back to live. I don't know why my live button doesn't want to work right now, so we're going to play it in advanced mode here. Let's see if we can go a little quicker. There we go. All right, so Robert Charette out in front. He will see that white flag fly as Thomas Thies also runs into some issues here. Luckily enough for the 15 ride, able to keep it rolling as he scored back in position number 4. But our race leader, Robert Charette, down through corner number 3 and out of corner number 4. He will pick up our 3rd checkered flag of the day. Robert picks up the 3rd heat race win here this evening. His name Friesen, Hunter LaJoy, in the 15 ride of Thomas Thies will all punch their tickets into the show. Unfortunately, Holden Anderson will have to go to our consolation race here later this afternoon, as we'll get them all ready to rock and roll here. We should have that consi coming up, but it looks like we're actually going to skip the consolation race. So all these drivers will get a ticket into the show here. Nobody's going to go home early. They're all going to get a chance to race. Unfortunately, for those drivers that did not transfer into the A-Main feature event, will unfortunately have to start a lot deeper in the field here this evening. And that is not a real fun place to be out on the speedways. All these drivers are going to jump out on the racetrack. They're going to get ready to rock and roll. They're going to get ready to go to battle here for this A-Main feature event here this evening in just a couple more moments, as we'll get a quick break in here, a quick opportunity to get a drink, and we'll get ready to rock and roll the A-Main feature event in just a couple more moments. So if you haven't already, hit the like button, hit that subscribe button, become part of the Peacemaker family here today, and make sure you guys are ready for the A-Main here in just a few more minutes. Don't go anywhere, because you do not want to miss any of the crazy racing action here on the Speedway Alliance Racing League.
supposed to be. Slide that tail, hang the throttle off the ledge. Wide open hearts, spinning in the heat. Speedway Alliance, kick up the dust. If you ain't sideways, you ain't with us. Dirt track, racing the way it's supposed to be. This is our league, our creed, our speed.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, you came here for a show. Well, here you go, as our main feature event is about to get underway here from Lernerville Speedway in the Speedway Alliance Racing League Factory Stocks here this evening. And starting on the pole in the number 51 machine, it is the mellow yellow ride of Clay Christopherson. To his outside will be the 79 of Gary Steele with Robert Chartette starting in third. Corey Sibley there in fourth. And then we see Stephen Bott, the 147, Nate Friesen, Daniel George Jr., Aaron Witham, Hunter LaJoy, Carson Cherry, James Williams in that number 34 ride. Thomas Thies, Sebastian Rios Davis, Thomas Davis, William Clapp, Holden Anderson, and it looks like our pole sitter, Clay Christopherson, going to go to the back of the pack here to start this race. So unfortunately for Clay Christopherson, I'm not sure why he decided to go to the rear of the field here. I don't know if it was a penalty from last week, potentially, but nonetheless, for the 51 ride, we'll give up that pole position and go to the back of the pack here for the start of this feature event, giving the race lead and the pole position to the 71 ride of Robert Charette. Is Charette going to look to try to keep all these drivers back there at bay? But we saw Gary Steele laying down great lap times, looked really, really fast, winning heat race number 2. Can he get it done here in this one, as each and every one of these drivers ready to put on a show as we end all the anticipation with our feature presentation as we are Green Flag Racing here at Lernerville Speedway, and all these drivers on the throttle, but they're getting loose, they're getting frisky, and upside down goes the 15 machine of Thomas Thies. Thies gonna take it right down pit side off the racetrack here early on this afternoon. The heartbreaker there for him, as now we do see the 71 and the 147 of Stephen Bott running into issues. They both went off the racetrack down the back straightaways. They get tied together on corner exit, and as they get hooked together, there they both go down the hill. They're both trying to stroll through the grass, putting their foot to the throttle to rejoin this field, and unfortunately for both cats, going to fall back to the rear of the field. But we do see more issues here. It's not very much farther after that. We see the 7 right here of Hunter LaJoy running into some issues as he's going to get into corner number 1, and it looks like the 34 Williams tries to get in there. My gosh. Okay, let's take a look back at this one. So I think for the 34 Williams, he's trying to get a better angle on corner entry here. So he comes up, and he's virtually already right to that left rear quarter panel of the 7, but right here, contact between him and the 20 kind of straightens him out on corner exit. That's what gets him up into the 7 ride, and from that point on, it's on like Donkey Kong. As the 7 to Hunter LaJoy goes airborne, goes for a wild ride, so doesn't James Williams as he's upside down, but for the 07 machine, down the banking, down through corner number 1 and 2, and he's gone. We can't even pick him up on the cameras. Let's play this back and take another look at it, because this one happens quickly. Let's see if we can take another look here at Hunter LaJoy. He's got that FX Caprera machine trying to work his way up towards the front of the field here. This is battling back in about that 7th, 8th position. There's the contact, and around he goes, upside down he goes, and man, this is a wild ride for the 7 machine as he's going to travel all the way down the banking gear for quite a while before that car finally comes to a rest. Unfortunately, a lot of damage. He'll have to take it down pit side and off the speedways. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to Green Flag Racing. Hunter LaJoy is back out on the speedway, so he'll be looking to try to rebound from it, but unfortunately, I do believe he is scored a lap or two down out on the racetrack, and that's going to be tough to come back from. As Gary Steele, though, out in front, has the early race lead. Can he hold these guys off and keep himself out in front as we'll get ready to go back to green flag racing here in this one? Is the craziness here in these factory stocks already getting kicked off here. Only a couple laps into this race, and we got a long ways to go here. We got a lot of laps here, a lot of craziness left to unfold here this evening. Is down and out at corner number 4. Another great restart for the 79, able to clear Robert down into corner number 1. Slides up into that outside lane, able to keep his foot in the throttle. And for Gary Steele, he is leading us once again back down the straightaway and into corner number 3 and 4. But here comes Robert Chartet taking a big run down through 3 and 4, looking to the inside of Gary Steele for the race lead. As they're beating and banging, they're battling all around the racetrack. Everyone's trying to inch their way towards the front of the field, including the 4-rider Carson Cherry. As Cherry upside down, there goes the F18 as well. Oh my gosh, another huge one out on the speedway. Carson Cherry, he sends it in deep here, and unfortunately, he sends it in so deep, man, that these cars, they just seem like they're so light on their toes. A little contact there between Friesen and the 4-ride puts him at a weird angle, and I think Cherry knows it, so he's got to crank the wheel hard to the left, and when he does, it kind of hooks in. You see the car leave 2 tires, and it basically leans right up on the 18 and upside down on top of him. Pushes Nate Friesen over the banking as well. They both go upside down, and in unison, both slam hard into that corner 4 fence. Luckily enough, they do not join the fans in the stands there, as that could have been very, very dangerous. Hopefully everyone is A-okay down there, and you do see James Williams going to slide in here. Nowhere to go. Right into the driver's side door there of Nate Friesen. Man, that is not a fun spot to be. As let's see if we can jump on board here with Carson Cherry, see what he can see here from the cockpit of this number 4 ride, and see what his perspective is with the helmet cam. As here we go down the back straightaway, there's that initial contact. Now he's got to crank it in there, and oh, now she's over. He's inside that other car, and oh man, that is a crazy ride and not a fun ride to be a part of, as he has to take it down pit road and off the speedways. We'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. Cherry still down pit side, and I'm not sure if he's going to be able to get back out there, but we'll get everyone else ready to rumble. As I believe, I don't know, looks like Nate Friesen, he's back out on the racetrack here. James Williams has rejoined us as well. Looks like Thomas Davis, Thomas Thies, Carson Cherry, all still down pit side. Same with Shea Miller out there on the racetrack, is also still down pit side as well. But for our race leader, Robert Chartet and Gary Steele, they get ready to go back to battle. Here in this one is nice and easy. Down and out of corner number 4. Green flag will fly once again. And for these drivers, another great restart, great battle. But here comes Corey Sibley down to the inside. He's looking to take him 3 wide as he's looking to try to find that groove. Hang on to it, Gary Steele, a little bit loose down and out of corner number 2. Luckily enough, able to hang on to it, able to keep that car pointing the right direction as they storm down and out of corner number 4 and pick off another lap here. 5 laps down, still a lot of laps left to go as we see Stephen Bott goes for a wild ride. There goes Bott. He's upside down. He's off the racing surface. Unfortunately, no caution flag here for the 147 machine. Let's take another look and see what happens. As I believe right here, you're going to watch him get into the fence right there. It gets him bent out of shape. He enters corner number 1 too high. He's up and over the banking, and this thing just goes airborne and goes upside down into that outside fence. A lot of big hits there for that Schaefer's Oil 147 ride, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and keep on battling here. No caution flag. We keep it clean and green. And for Robert Chartet, that's great news for him as he's out in front. He's got that race lead, and he's looking to keep all these drivers back there at bay. As Robert continues to lead this race, Gary Steele sits in second. It's now Aaron with him up and into position number 3, as we see Clay Christopherson in 4th, and it's kind of a 4-car breakaway here, as there's about a 1.5 second gap all the way back to our 5th place driver, the 999 of Corey Sibley. But we will see the caution flag come back out, as I believe we're going to see William Clapp, James Williams, and a few other drivers run into issues here, one of those being the 13 rider Holden Anderson. Holden ran into some issues here as well. Let's take a look and see what happens to the 13 ride. Now, this was a little bit prior to it. Looks like he's going to go up and off the banking here. He's going to go around. He ends up upside down as well on that back straightaway hill. And luckily enough, it does roll back over onto all four. But he ends up taking that car down pit side and off the speedway. But then we see pretty good contact here. Some tight battling. Freeze in the 4. Sebastian Rios Davis, Neil George Jr., they're 3 wide. They're beating and banging. They're bouncing off one another. And then finally the 4 kind of getting bounced around. Shoots down the racetrack across the nose of Williams. They both wash down into the infield here. Williams just comes to a stop. And unfortunately for William Clapp here, so Williams and William having some issues. Let's take a look here. The 4 ride just getting bounced around there. Contact between him and the 20, then with the F18, then back down the track into him and into the infield fence, into the infield tractor tires, and this thing goes airborne, upside down. Tons of damage there for William Clapp, and unfortunately he'll have to take that car down pit side and potentially off the racing surface as well, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, and ready to go back to green flag racing. We do see William Clapp able to rejoin this race, but man, this backstretch Productions number 71 ride out in front, looking really, really strong here this evening. And for Robert Charette, he's hoping that he can keep himself out in front and hopefully into victory lane here this evening. And the way that the craziness has been kind of going on back behind him, man, he might be sitting in a good spot. But we do see Carson Cherry back on the lead lap here. Sebastian Rios Davis is back out there. He's on the lead lap. So still some really fast cats, you know, in attendance, still out there battling on the racetrack, that may be able to give him a run for his money. But we'll have to wait and see how it all gets played out, as Grant going to look to try to get another big restart right here. And down through 3 and 4, he gets a bit of a launch that he was looking for, but Gary Steele able to stick right there with him in that outside lane. If Gary can stay here to his outside, they battle door to door down the back straightaway, give the advantage to Gary Steele, but he gets in too far. Oh no, hang on to it, Mr. Steele. Luckily enough, the car stays on all 4 tires. He's able to keep on rolling, no issues, and luckily enough, no big hits there for him. But we do see the 51 of Clay Christopherson able to work himself out in front. So Clay now has the race lead. Move Mr. Christopherson to the point here this afternoon. So Clay jumps out in front as we hit our halfway marker out there on the speedway. Robert Charette slides back into second. Aaron Witham's right there on his back bumper, and Carson Cherry back up into position number 4 and looking for more as Daniel George Jr. rolls there inside our top 5, trying to move this beautiful lime green number 71 right into the battle here at the front of the field and maybe into victory lane here this evening. Can he find something as he's looking underneath Carson Cherry for that 4th position, trying to find a run, trying to find a lane, and hoping that he can kind of break through, maybe gain a couple spots and able to jump up and join the fight here towards the front of the field. As we do see Claps down pit side here, he's wanting to jump back out, but unfortunately for a lot of these drivers, an early exit to this race. Holden Anderson is back out there. He's back into the battle. Unfortunately, he has scored 1 lap down. Stephen Bott finds himself 2 laps down out there on the speedway, but still very much in this fight. As you see the 79, hang on to it. There goes Gary Steele again. Caution flag will fly this time for the 79 ride. As a heavy damage, he'll take it down pit road. Well, let's play it back here. Obviously pushing the subject, trying to find as much speed and pace that he can find. He's trying to work his way around Stephen Bott. Unfortunately, gets in too high. Right rear goes up and off that bank, and car goes airborne. Goes for a couple tilty whirls, and unfortunately ends up hard contact into that corner 4 pit wall fence. And now down pit side and getting heavy damages repaired here late in this race. We'll have to wait and see if he can rejoin us and rejoin the action out there on the speedway, as Clay Christopherson did not want to see that caution flag. He wanted to see it stay clean and green. He did not want to see another yellow, as he was hoping to keep all these guys back there at bay in these crazy restarts and bringing all these fast cats right back to his rear bumper. Just opens up the door for even more craziness, even more wild things to happen out there on the racetrack that could unfortunately knock him out of the winner's circle here this evening, as we'll get ready to rumble once again here in the Speedway Alliance Racing League, the Davis Print and Press Company. I think this is the 8th race now on the season, if I'm not mistaken. I believe we're already on race 8. It's either 7 or 8 now on the season, which is crazy that we're flying through it. I believe next Sunday is a bye week for these drivers, so a week off, and then I do believe we're back for 4 more races until the season comes to a close. But for each and every one of these drivers, man, still, a lot of racing, a lot of action, a lot of opportunities to try to find yourself in the victory lane, and still a few laps left to go here in this one, and it's not over until until that checkered flag flies here for these drivers. And for how crazy things have been the last few weeks, you can't count anybody out. If you're on the lead lap, you're still very much in it. As here we go back to green flag races. Clay Christopherson, great restart, great launch right there, able to get a good run down and through corner 1 and 2. Will lead us back down into 3, trying to keep that 71 right off his back bumper, as Aaron with him trying to keep the 4 right of Carson Cherry back there at bay. But Jerry's also trying to play defense and trying to keep the 71 of Daniel George off his back bumper as well. But Clay Christopherson out in front has that top spot. He's rolling nicely here at the front of the field and just looking to continue to click these laps off and trying to put himself up and into the winner's circle in that beautiful mellow yellow number 51 machine. Robert Chartet, Aaron with them in tow as they head down through corner 3 and out of corner number 4. They will complete lap number 20. So 5 more laps left to go here this evening. 5 more laps left to duke it out here in this one. And the caution flag does come back out. So another caution flag will be displayed, and unfortunately, I believe this one may be Hunter LaJoy again. Let's take a look back and see what happens as the 7 ride in the outside groove here. See if there's some help here. See if he gets additional help, or if he just goes up and off the banking. He heads down through corner number 1 and 2. So far, so good. Sends it into corner number 1. Still good out there on the racetrack, so I'm not too sure when this may happen. He's got the 147 now on his back bumper. Sends it in there deep. They're still door to door. I don't know where this caution flag may come from, but maybe Sebastian Rios Davis running into issues? I don't know, man. This is a weird one. I don't know where the yellow flag comes out. Okay, here we go. Contact right there. There it is. All right. We finally found it. So there you go. You see Hunter LaJoy and the 147 of Stephen Bott get tied together. Bott tries to come up the racetrack here to take that outside lane. Unfortunately, just was not clear of the 7 ride. Comes up the track across his nose. They get hooked together, and unfortunately, it drags both drivers up and off the corner 4 banking for Stephen Bott. Goes airborne upside down into that concrete fence. The 7 slides into it, man. Heavy damage for both drivers, but unfortunately, that's another late race yellow flag that's gonna, unfortunately set these drivers all back here a little bit, as we'll get them all stacked up, racked up, ready to try to go back to green flag racing. Another single file restart. I do believe it'll be 4 laps left to go here when we see this green flag fly. So for each and every one of these drivers, they don't got a lot of time left to make some moves, as you do see Stephen Bott rejoin the race here just in front of our race leaders. The white flag was coming out, jumps back in onto the racetrack for a driver that's already a few laps down. He's going to pull down to the infield, allow the race leaders to go on by. Does not want to put them into a tough position, trying to battle here for the race win and having to worry about some of that lap traffic. But Clay Christopherson out in front clicks off another lap, man, and he is looking A-okay here at the front of the field, man. He is looking strong here this evening, and so is in that 71 of Robert Chartet and the 216 of Aaron Witham as they continue to hold on to the top 3 positions. Unfortunately for Carson Cherry, still back there in position number 4 and looking for more. Just has not been able to find that extra gear here late in this race, and unfortunately he's going to run out of time here as the white flag has been displayed one more time around here for Clay Christopherson. As for the final time, down the back straightaway into corner number 3 and out of corner number 4, it's Clay Christopherson who will find victory lane here at Lernerville Speedway in the Speedway Alliance Racing League. Clay Christopherson gets it done and picks up the dub here in this one. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, let's see some congratulations in the chat right now for the mellow yellow machine, Clay Christopherson, here this evening. as Robert Charette going to come home in position number 2, and Aaron with them back in that 3rd spot on the Speedway, as it is a Monte Carlo podium here this evening. The metric chassis getting it done here at Lernerville Speedway. Seemed like they were a little bit more hooked up, a little bit more solid to the ground here this afternoon compared to some of those non-metric chassis out there on the racetrack. They just seem to be a little bit too, up in the air, and unfortunately, that's a pun that works, a lot of different ways here, as we'll get ready to pull our top 3 quickly into the broadcast booth for some post-race interviews here. Quick post-race interviews this afternoon, brought to you by Davis Print and Press Company. Alrighty, we are looking for our top 3 here. All right, looks like we got Clay in there, so let's bring Clay right up here into the booth. Hey, Clay, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yes, sir.
Clay, man, what a run, what a race here this evening. Obviously, a lot of drivers running into issues out there on the racetrack, but this 51 ride seemed like it was solid. It was on all 4 tires all night long, and you're able to navigate your way up and into victory lane after stealing that race lead away from Robert Charette in the 79 ride of Gary Steele, and man, it just seemed like no one was going to take it away from you here. Late race restarts and everything else. You're able to just hit your marks, continue to pull away, and never made a mistake there to open up the door to allow Robert, Aaron, or any of these other drivers to try to steal this win away from you as you park it up in the Lernerville Speedway victory lane. Man, take us back through it.
Yeah, the car felt good. I was really easy on entry. I would lift about to half throttle, let the car kind of roll in, get back in it. That way I was never spinning, and I never had that feeling of the left front picking up too much. To be honest, a lot of it was luck. That when I started 4th, and I think it was 79 drove off, and we were 3 wide at the time. If he wouldn't have drove off, I would have probably been stuck in 3rd, and I don't know if I would have been able to find something to do or not. It seemed pretty top dominant, but no, the car felt, once I got up there, it was just turned left pretty much. Car felt great.
Yeah, car looked great out there on the racetrack. It looked very, very steady and easy on its tires here this evening, and that was probably the key to really success here this afternoon, as we saw a lot of drivers again go airborne, upside down. It just seems like these things are really, really light on their feet, even when drivers just kind of crank it into the corner a little too much. You get a little too much wheel into it at too rapid of a pace. Unfortunately, these things just kind of pick up and take off like a jet plane.
Yeah, it's a bicycle wheel that weighs about 4,000 pounds. So,
yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunately for a lot of the competitors back there behind you, they ran into issues. But for yourself, no real major problems, and you're able to, cash in and put yourself up here into Lernerville Speedway victory lane. Clay, who'd you like to thank for a great run and a strong performance out there on the racetrack?
all you guys for putting this on. All the boys at FTM and Swan Speed Shop for 358 and big block setups.
Beauty. Well, Clay, great run, great drive here this evening, man. Hopefully many more dubs to come here in these factory stocks here with the Speedway Alliance Racing League in the future, and many more trips up here into the broadcast booth.
Thank you, sir.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our race winner, Clay Christopherson, as Clay comes home with the dub here this evening. Great run, great drive there for the 51 machine. As we'll get ready now to pull in our second place finisher, the 71 ride, it's Rob Charette into the booth. We'll have to make sure we get the correct pronunciation of his last name here when we get him up here into the booth. Hey, Rob, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. Did you get a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy. How you doing?
Not too bad. Rob, man, great run, great race here this evening, brother. It looked like it was going to be a dogfight between you and Gary Steele here all evening long, and then he runs into some issues. He goes up and off the banking. It seemed like maybe you checked up just enough to try to avoid running into him and getting collected in it, and all of a sudden, Clay Christopherson jumps right around you, steals that race lead, and then he just never gave it back to you out there on the racetrack. Even with some of these late race restarts, just seemed like you couldn't get the run you needed to get back around him without an issue there for the 51 ride. He had to settle in for a second place drive here tonight, man. Take us back through it. What's going through your mind?
Heat races, I felt like the car was really strong. I think Gary was in my heat race and he flew off, and my car was on rails right after that. I feel really bad he fell off because I didn't want to start on the inside row. I was a lot stronger on the outside. If you push too hard on the inside, you're gonna go on two wheels and nearly flip. And my car is set up to balance, but wasn't gonna take the chance.
Yeah,
And
absolutely.
for the future, man, that was so fun. Felt like we were dogfighting the whole time.
Yeah, it was a dogfight out there, man. You guys were battling tooth and nail each and every single lap, and unfortunately, you had to settle in here for the second place performance out there on the racetrack. But man, it was still a heck of a show that you guys put on for us here again this afternoon in the Speedway Alliance Racing League. Rob, who'd you like to thank for such a great run and strong performance out there on the racetrack?
Oh, I got a list. I got my parents up there in heaven watching me every single night, and I'm always pushing, you know. I got OTL Racing Leagues, Speedway Alliance Racing Leagues, EDRL Racing League, Cherry Cinematography, my best friend Samuel Gorno. And my wife and her family. Without them, I couldn't do any of this. They do whatever it takes for me to be here on Sunday.
Absolutely, man. Well, it is a community that makes this happen, and here in this one, man, finally a good performance and a good finish here for you, man. After many, many nights looking fast, looking like you had a good run going, and something happened taking you out of good position late in these races, but you're able to come through and park it on the podium here this afternoon. Now, before we let you go, Rob, how do you correctly pronounce your last name?
You got it good the first night, and then I just didn't know how to contact you to let you know.
all right. You kind of broke up when he said that. Say it again.
Charette.
Charette. Okay. I
Yep.
kind of thought that's how it was pronounced. Okay. I think I got it most of the night correct here again. But Rob, great run, great performance, brother. We can't wait to see you back out there on the racetrack in the next one, and hopefully right back up here in the broadcast booth, maybe one spot better and into victory lane yourself.
Oh yeah, man. We got some tracks coming up that I really like, so hopefully I'll be up here.
Beauty. We look forward to it, man. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You too, man.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our second place finisher, Robert Charette, as Charette comes home in position number 2 here this evening. As we'll get ready now to pull in our third place performer, the 216 machine of Aaron Witham. Let's get Witham up here into the booth. Hey, Aaron, it's Aaron up here in the Peacemaker Broadcasting booth. They get a copy?
Hi, Aaron. It's Aaron.
Brother, another good run, another good race for you as you parked the 216 ride back up here on the podium, man. Take us back through this one as it was a crazy one here this evening at Lernerville Speedway.
Yeah, 2 weeks in a row. I'm finally getting my head out of my rear, so that's great. Yeah, I mean, it just used an old setup from previous seasons. It works great. I don't think I won the last time, but I was sitting second. I'm pretty sure the last race we raced here, so it was good.
Yeah, it seemed like it was really decent. It didn't seem like it was, going up on two wheels too often out there on the racetrack. But man, these things seem like they're super light on their toes. You get into the corner a little bit too, too quick, and you crank that wheel a little bit too hard to the left, and these things seem like they'll just jump right up on you and go on over, like we saw for a lot of drivers here this afternoon.
Oh yeah, absolutely. That cushion is a killer with these cars. That right rear does not like that cushion at all. So you just want to keep it clear and just try to run like maybe half a groove down or as low down off of it as you can. I didn't really put a whole lot of practice in this week, so was kind of figuring it out during the feature. And of course, at the end of the race, I really started figuring it out and almost got that second place from Robert, but fell just a nose short.
Yeah, absolutely. Almost able to steal P2 away from the 71 ride, but you settle in still for another very solid top 3 performance out there on the racetrack and here in the Speedway Alliance Racing League. Aaron, who'd you like to thank again here tonight for another amazing performance out there on the racetrack?
Well, first and foremost, I forgot to thank the guys from my team, Drop 2 Garage last week. So I've got to make sure I add them this time. The wife, the kids, Boxo Tools, Valco Wheels, CNC Motorsports, Hoker Trucking, and of course Vanderbilt Race Cars.
Beauty. Well, Aaron, great run, great drive out there on the racetrack, man. We can't wait to see you back out there in the next one, and hopefully another trip right back up here into the broadcast booth.
Of course, thank you.
Absolutely. Enjoy the rest of your night.
You as well. Bye-bye.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, give it up there for our third place finisher. Aaron Witham is with them. Comes home in position number 3. Solid run, solid drive there for that 216 ride as he rounds out our podium. Then we saw Carson, the Catfish Cherry, and Daniel George Jr. round out our top 5 out there on the Speedway after another amazing night of racing action here from Lernerville Speedway. Man, these guys put on another wicked show for us out there on the racetrack. Unfortunately, though, that's going to do it for us here this afternoon as we'll be getting ready to jump right back up here into the booth for another broadcast here in about 10-13 minutes from now. We'll be live again here for our third broadcast of the day. So make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. Make sure you guys turn those bell notifications on. That way you never miss it when we go live here on Peacemaker Gaming. And make sure you guys do us a favor. Hit the like button, drop a comment on the stream, and or video if you're rewatching it post-race and post-live. And make sure you guys show the love here and spread the love on this fine Sunday night. And hopefully we'll see you guys all back in the grandstand as our next race coming up here in just a little bit for some crazy racing and the NASCAR Cup Series coming right up at you in just a couple more moments. But thank y'all for watching. Thank y'all for tuning in, and we'll see you on the next one, man. Peace and love, ladies and gentlemen. Peace and love.